Welcome to the For Every Idea podcast. In today's episode, I have invited a couple of AI experts to join me in a discussion on the emerging capabilities of self-improving web-based interfaces. Let's dive into a conversation where I invited a couple of virtual AI assistants to talk about For Every Idea's paperless methodology and the opportunities emerging AI technology presents.
All right, so you know why you're here, right? You want to learn something new, and you want to do it without a whole lot of fluff.
That's right. Getting right to it.
Yeah, so we are going to be diving into For Every Idea LLC.
Interesting company.
Yeah, and specifically how they develop ideas completely paperless. So no, pens and paper, no whiteboards, none of that.
All digital all the time.
Exactly. And, we've got a couple sources. We've got their breakdown of what they call their idea delivery lifecycle. Our goal today is to understand how this whole lifecycle works.
Right.
What makes it, so different and innovative.
What makes it tick?
Exactly. And why you, the listener, should even care.
Right. Why is this important?
Why is this relevant to you? So to give you a little preview, they break their whole process down into 4 stages.
Okay.
Ideation, elaboration, iteration, and presentation.
So it's like taking an idea from its very beginning all the way to like the final product.
Exactly. And what's really cool is that all 4 stages are completely digital.
Wow.
And designed to evolve and change based on feedback.
Very agile. Very responsive.
Yes, exactly.
Let's start with ideation then.
Yeah, so traditionally when you think of, brainstorming and coming up with ideas, you think of, a bunch of people crammed into a room, whiteboard markers flying.
Sticky notes everywhere.
Exactly. But For Every Idea has completely shifted that to what they call virtual co-authoring.
So like a virtual writer's room.
Kind of, yeah. So they use virtual office spaces. And what I think is so fascinating is that this simple shift in environment has the potential to level the playing field.
In what way?
Well, think about it. Someone who's in a different time zone or someone who maybe, is a little bit more introverted and processes ideas better quietly, they can now contribute just as effectively as anyone else.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's not just about convenience. It's about making idea generation more inclusive. So from the get-go, they're already thinking about how to get the best ideas from the widest range of people.
Exactly. So the digital space isn't just a replacement for a physical meeting room. It's actually fundamentally changing how ideas are born.
That's really cool.
So now we move on to elaboration. So taking those initial sparks of ideas and really fleshing them out.
So this is where traditionally you might see, stacks of paper and endless revisions.
Yeah, red pen everywhere.
But not for every idea.
Not at all. They're going all digital here, using tools built on open source standards.
Now, what's the advantage of that?
Well, imagine their digital notes and drafts speaking a universal language that any other web technology can understand.
So they're not locked into one specific program.
Exactly. It's about avoiding being stuck with one system and ensuring that their ideas can adapt and integrate with whatever the future of the web looks like.
So it's like a future-proof approach to building on those ideas.
Precisely.
That's really smart.
Now on to iteration. This is where those ideas get refined and polished.
And this is where things can get really messy with feedback and revisions.
Right. Trying to keep track of all the changes can be a nightmare.
Absolutely. So how does For Every Idea handle this without drowning in, a sea of markups and emails?
So they've actually automated a lot of that process.
Oh, wow.
Instead of, someone manually tracking changes and reformatting documents, the system does it for them.
Makes sense.
And this allows their ideas to evolve at a much faster rate.
So it's like continuous improvement happening in real time.
Exactly.
So then we move on to the final stage presentation.
Right. So this is where those polished, paperless ideas get out into the world.
How do they do that?
Oh, digitally, of course.
Of course.
So using things like, scalable web meetings, video playlists, you name it.
I see.
And what's really significant is that the cost of including more people in the conversation is negligible.
Right, because with digital, there's no need to book a bigger room or print more handouts.
Exactly. So which brings us to the tech itself. We hear so much about GPUs these days, those advanced ones.
Yep.
Why are they so important for this whole self-improving AI thing?
Okay, think of it like this. An advanced GPU, it's like having hundreds of tiny little workers all doing math problems at the same time.
Hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds. And this parallel processing power, it's like the key to handling all the super complicated math that goes into training and using these big, powerful AI models. And with GPUs doing all that work, everything just runs so much faster and smoother.
That makes sense.
It does.
Okay, so GPUs are like the brawn, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
But then how does the AI itself, the brain, change the web and how we do business?
Well, for one thing, AI can take over a lot of the hard work, like writing basic code, testing software, and even finding those pesky bugs,
Oh, nice.
right? And it can look at mountains of data from users and use that to make websites and apps work even better.
Oh, okay.
Plus, it can make things more secure, protect against hackers and stuff.
Yeah.
And it can manage those massive data sets that you get with like really big online businesses. So it helps things scale up smoothly. Think about those really personalized experiences you see online or the super detailed data analysis that companies are doing these days.
Oh,
The
right.
GPUs make all that possible, and it's leading to these totally new kinds of web applications and like business insights that we've never had before. So, one thing that's interesting about For Every Idea
Mm-hmm.
is that even from their, very early days, they had this commitment to doing things digitally, to being paperless, to using the web for collaboration.
Yeah.
And they were offering, even back then, these fixed price made to order products with the idea being, let's cut out all the back and forth. Let's cut out all of the, unnecessary steps and make this much more streamlined. Even in the software world, which, you'd think would already be pretty paperless.
Mm-hmm.
But they really pushed this web-first idea. And this is something I think that I can relate to because, in my early career, everything was done, with paper. And it was this very slow, inefficient process. And then moving, into web solutions and digital transformation consulting, it makes so much sense to me that For Every Idea, embrace that early on.
Okay, so let's bring this back to best practices. How has this whole technological evolution changed something as like basic as paperless collaboration?
Oh, that's a great question. It's definitely changed a lot. We've gone from using actual paper documents to just having files on our computers and then to being able to share those files on the cloud and even edit them together in real time.
Yeah.
But now AI is stepping in and adding a whole other level. Like there's OCR, which can take an image of text and turn it into actual editable text,
Oh, yeah, that's super handy.
right? Then there's data extraction, which can automatically pull out specific info from documents.
Yeah.
And then there are automated workflows that can really streamline whole processes.
It really makes things so much easier and faster.
Oh, absolutely. It's way more efficient. Everything's more secure. It's easier for everyone to access the information they need. It costs less money overall, and it's even better for the environment.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. If we had to boil it all down, what's the big takeaway for our listeners?
I think the most important thing to remember is that technology, especially this self-improving AI, is really the main force pushing us towards better, more efficient ways of doing business. And by better, I mean ways that are easier to access and just, get better results overall.
It's not just about speed, right?
No.
It's about redefining what best even means.
Exactly.
And it's not just internal stuff that's changed, right? Like customer service has been completely transformed too.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. It used to be all about phone calls,
Oh, I remember those days.
but then came email and then live chat on websites and then social media. And now we've got AI-powered chatbots that can answer questions and help customers 24/7. The gold standard is what they call omni-channel integration.
Okay, what's that?
It's where the customer can seamlessly go from like using a chatbot to sending an email to talking to a real person on the phone. And it all feels like one connected experience.
That's interesting.
It really makes things easier for the customer and more efficient for the business. Plus, it can help lower costs too. And to do this, we've taken a look at a lot of information provided by For Every Idea themselves, detailing, their journey and their evolution. Their initial system only required a few kilobytes to be able to access and share web links. Just to put that into perspective, a kilobyte is a very small amount of data, like incredibly small in the digital world. To me, that really shows that they had this commitment to efficiency, to making things easier, for you from the very beginning. But fast forward to 2025, their various systems are now truly interoperable. And this is something I think we should unpack a bit because all of their systems are now speaking the same language. Improvements and updates can happen, at a much faster pace.
Absolutely.
So what does that mean for you? It means you get quicker turnaround times, you get more sophisticated results, and it's a much more streamlined process. And I love how they went from those few kilobytes to what they're doing today. It's really cool.
It really highlights the transformation, that shift, and this whole concept of interoperability, right? Where systems can talk to each other, where information can flow seamlessly and automatically. That is really the key here because it creates so much efficiency behind the scenes. And that efficiency directly translates into a better, simpler experience for you.
And let's talk about, AI and how it's being used. Now AI is being used to generate these initial product drafts with remarkable accuracy, which means that they're able to save a ton of time, for you right from the start. The other thing is, AI agents are now handling those, 24/7 on-demand meeting invites, connecting you instantly with a USA-based representative, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then, they've got this, you know, secure PCI compliant customer portal.
Oh, great.
For everyidea.com/services.html, you can go there and you can create, these custom paperless products, at a fixed price. So again, it's all about transparency and it's all about making things easier for you. All of this really ties into some of the bigger trends that we're seeing with AI in 2025. We're seeing much more automation, much more emphasis on customer experience, personalized content, and for every idea is really, tapping into those advancements to make things better for you.
Yeah. And, it wouldn't surprise me if those AI agents are doing a lot more than just, routing calls or scheduling meetings. They probably have some level of understanding of your needs, which allows them to provide, better support from the very beginning.
Yeah, I would imagine that that's the case. I mean, why wouldn't it be?
Exactly.
So, the overarching goal here, it's really about supporting more customers like you, realizing their ideas. And by making things more accessible through these on-demand invites and, having AI there to assist you, and then simplifying the whole process with, the secure portal, the fixed pricing, it really reduces the stress involved for you.
It does. And, these interconnected systems, it doesn't just lead to efficiency. It also allows them to make better decisions within the company. It makes collaboration easier. It can lead to cost savings, all of which, indirectly benefit you because it means that they can provide a better service. And then on top of that, you've got these personalized AI interactions and that 24/7 availability, which just enhances the whole experience.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about automation and AI.
Okay.
Huge topics these days.
Definitely.
So how do they fit into this whole idea delivery life cycle?
On the automation side, it really streamlines those iterative feedback cycles we were talking about earlier.
Oh, right, because getting feedback and making revisions can be a real time suck.
Absolutely. So their system automatically collates comments, incorporates edits, updates, versions, all without any manual intervention.
So it's like having a super efficient assistant working behind the scenes.
Precisely. AI, specifically large language models, can actually help generate initial drafts of ideas, which can significantly speed up the creative process.
So AI is actually contributing to the ideation phase.
Exactly. And on top of that, they're using AI agents to improve customer support response times.
So it's not just about doing things faster, it's about using AI to really elevate the entire process.
Exactly. And here's the really cool part. This whole system is actually designed to get better over time.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, because it's all cloud-based. The automated systems in AI are constantly learning from new data and best practices. So the platform is continuously refining and improving its efficiency and capabilities.
So it's like a self-improving system.
Precisely.
It sounds like they've come a long way even from just 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 5 years ago, they were already using web technology and vector data, but they were really only seeing small incremental improvements.
Right. So what's changed?
It's a convergence of several key technologies. When we compare how for every idea was delivering, ideas back in, say, 2020, they had, a very solid, scalable, web-based system. And another thing that I think is really important to highlight is, they have had this long-standing commitment to being paperless. And that not only, has environmental benefits, but it also, ties into this whole idea of efficiency, of making things simpler. And, by embracing technology the way they have, it allows them to scale up, significantly, which means that they can support more ideas, more customers, more people like you. And I think that's really exciting. And just, as an aside, we're seeing this general trend in 2025 towards more energy efficient computing and the use of cloud computing. And that's something that also benefits the company, by making their operations more efficient.
Yeah.
And, that indirectly benefits you as well.
Absolutely. I think in the end, for every idea LLC's journey, it really demonstrates a consistent, ongoing commitment to innovation. And ultimately what that does is it empowers more individuals like you to be able to take their ideas and turn them into reality effectively.
Yeah. And that wraps up this deep dive. But here's a thought to kind of leave you with. How could strategically adopting even just one or two emerging technologies revolutionize your own processes for delivering your ideas, for bringing your ideas to life?
I like that. Something to think about.
You know, think about what For Every Idea has done and how you could apply that to what you're doing.
Definitely.
With that, I'll catch you all next time.
I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for listening to the For Every Idea podcast.